Kash Patel, the controversial choice set to overhaul the FBI's leadership with Trump's endorsement.
On January 30, 2025, Kash Patel, a prominent figure within Donald Trump's political circle, is set to face a Senate confirmation hearing for his nomination as the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI). This appointment has ignited a firestorm of debate across the political spectrum, with supporters heralding him as a necessary agent of change while critics express grave concerns regarding his qualifications, past rhetoric, and potential for politicizing the FBI.
Background:
Kash Patel, who has served in various roles within the Trump administration, including as senior counsel for the House Intelligence Committee, chief of staff to the acting Secretary of Defense, and acting Deputy Director of National Intelligence, has positioned himself as a staunch ally of Trump. Born to Indian immigrant parents and raised on Long Island, Patel pursued a legal career that began with a public defender role before transitioning to the Department of Justice's National Security Division, where he gained experience as a terrorism prosecutor. Patel's rise in the political landscape began during his tenure in the House Intelligence Committee under Chairman Devin Nunes, where he played a key role in investigating allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 election, often defending Trump against accusations. His tenure has been marked by a series of controversial statements and actions that have led many to question his suitability for leading one of the nation's premier law enforcement agencies.
Controversial rhetoric and allegations. Patel's nomination is underscored by his history of attacking the FBI, which he has disparagingly referred to as the Federal Bureau of Insanity. He has been vocal about what he perceives as a deep state conspiracy, alleging that unelected officials within the government are working against Trump and his supporters. His public statements include support for conspiracy theories such as QAnon and calls for the prosecution of perceived adversaries, which raises concerns among critics about his intentions should he take the helm of the FBI. In his 2023 memoir Government Gangsters, Patel lists a so-called enemies list that includes prominent Democrats like President Joe Biden and Attorney General Merrick Garland, which many interpret as a potential precursor to political retribution if he assumes leadership of the FBI. This memoir has been a focal point for critics who argue that it reflects a willingness to weaponize the FBI against political opponents. Confirmation hearing.
As Patel prepares for his confirmation hearing, he will face rigorous questioning from members of the Senate, particularly from Democrats, who are expected to scrutinize his qualifications and past remarks.
Senator Dick Durbin.
The top Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee has publicly expressed grave concerns about Patel's ability to lead the agency, citing a lack of relevant experience and a temperament that may not align with the role's requirements. The hearing is anticipated to reveal sharp divisions among senators, with Republicans likely defending Patel's loyalty to Trump and his commitment to draining the swamp, while Democrats will likely emphasize his controversial past and potential conflicts of interest. The stakes are high as the FBI director oversees a vast organization comprising approximately 37,000 employees in 55 field offices responsible for national security and federal law enforcement.
Support and criticism. Supporters of Patel, including many within Trump's inner circle and conservative lawmakers, argue that his unwavering loyalty to Trump and dedication to reforming the FBI make him the right choice for the job. They contend that Patel's background as a prosecutor and his experience within the intelligence community equip him with the necessary skills to address what they perceive as corruption within the agency. Conversely, critics highlight Patel's limited experience in law enforcement and his volatile rhetoric as disqualifying factors. They fear that his leadership could further politicize the FBI, undermining its credibility and integrity. Allegations have also emerged regarding Patel's handling of sensitive information, with claims that he leaked details about an American hostage situation, further complicating his confirmation process. The political implications. Patel's nomination occurs at a time of heightened political polarization in the United States. His confirmation could have significant implications for the FBI's future direction, especially regarding its relationship with the political establishment.
Should he be confirmed, his leadership style and decisions may reshape the FBI's operational focus and priorities, potentially leading to a more partisan agency. The political landscape surrounding Patel's nomination reflects broader tensions within American politics, particularly regarding trust in government institutions. As the confirmation hearing approaches, the discourse surrounding Patel will likely intensify, with potential ramifications for both the Biden administration and Trump's ongoing influence over the Republican Party.
Conclusion: Kash Patel's nomination as FBI director encapsulates the deep divisions within American politics and the ongoing struggle over the role of federal law enforcement in a democratic society.
As he prepares for his Senate confirmation hearing, the outcome will not only impact Patel's career but also the future of the FBI and its ability to operate independently of political pressures. The coming weeks will be pivotal in shaping the narrative around his appointment and the broader implications for governance in the United States. Kash Patel's nomination to lead the FBI has ignited a fierce debate, revealing several counterintuitive aspects about his candidacy and the reactions it has provoked. 1. Perception of qualifications. While many of Patel's supporters view him as a brilliant lawyer and a dedicated public servant, critics argue that his qualifications are inadequate for such a critical leadership position. His previous roles, particularly in national security and as a public defender, seem impressive at first glance.
However,
his critics point out that his experience is limited in terms of managing a large bureaucratic organization like the FBI. This juxtaposition highlights a counterintuitive reality, that loyalty and political alignment may be prioritized over traditional qualifications in this nomination process. 2. Deep state allegations. Patel's rhetoric about the deep state resonates with a significant faction of the Republican base who believe in a covert group of unelected officials manipulating government operations. While this belief is often dismissed by mainstream political discourse, Patel's nomination underscores the increasing normalization of such conspiracy beliefs within major political appointments. It raises an unexpected question: could a candidate's alignment with conspiracy theories serve as a political asset rather than a liability in today's climate? 3. Media and public perception. Patel's memoir, Government Gangsters, which includes an enemies list featuring high-profile Democrats, is both a point of pride for his supporters and a source of concern for his critics. The counterintuitive element here is that such overtly partisan and confrontational tactics, which might typically alienate a broader audience, are being embraced by a significant segment of the electorate. This suggests that for some, aggressiveness in political discourse is not seen as disqualifying but rather as a demonstration of commitment to a cause. For bipartisan scrutiny, interestingly, both Democrats and some Republicans express skepticism about Patel's ability to lead the FBI, signaling that his nomination might not only deepen party lines but also reveal fractures within the Republican Party itself. His staunch loyalty to Trump raises concerns about whether he can maintain the FBI's integrity and impartiality. The counterintuitive aspect here is that Patel, a Trump loyalist, faces opposition not just from the opposing party but also from within his own. 5. Public defender to FBI director. Patel's trajectory from public defender to a potential FBI director is striking. While one would expect a straightforward path to leadership in law enforcement to involve extensive experience in law enforcement or senior executive roles, Patel's career path illustrates that political connections and loyalty can sometimes supersede conventional qualifications. This raises questions about the qualities that are increasingly valued in political appointments. 6. Reactions to criticism. Patel's defense against criticism often involves framing his detractors as part of the establishment or deep state. This strategy could seem counterproductive, alienating potential allies and amplifying divisions. However, it appears to rally his base, suggesting that confrontation and the portrayal of a common enemy can be effective strategies in political discourse today. 7. Focus on loyalty over competence. The focus on Patel's loyalty to Trump rather than his professional competence illustrates a shift in what is considered essential for leadership roles in government. This trend challenges the traditional belief that expertise and experience should be paramount in such positions, suggesting that in this political era allegiance to a particular ideology may take precedence over conventional qualifications. 8. The role of conspiracy theories. Patel's acknowledgement of QAnon conspiracy theories as having merit is shocking to many, yet it resonates with a segment of the population that feels alienated by mainstream narratives. This acceptance of fringe beliefs within a nomination for a high-profile government role is counterintuitive, reflecting a broader societal shift where conspiracy theories are not only tolerated but can enhance a candidate's appeal. In summary, Kash Patel's nomination is emblematic of broader trends in American politics where loyalty, ideological alignment, and narrative framing may overshadow traditional qualifications and experiences. The reactions to his candidacy reveal an increasingly polarized political landscape where being a staunch ally of a controversial figure like Trump can be both a blessing and a curse depending on the audience. These dynamics challenge conventional wisdom about leadership in government and raise important questions about the future of institutions like the FBI. Kash Patel's nomination to lead the FBI under Donald Trump's endorsement is a pivotal moment that has elicited intense scrutiny, and there are several nuanced elements of this situation that many might overlook. 1. Patel's enemies list. One particularly significant aspect of Patel's memoir, Government Gangsters, is the inclusion of an enemies list which names prominent Democrats like Joe Biden and Merrick Garland as part of the deep state. This is not just a rhetorical device, it reflects a mindset that sees political adversaries as targets rather than constituents to serve. This mindset could lead to a politicization of the FBI that worries critics who fear it may be used to pursue vendettas against political opponents rather than uphold the law impartially. 2. The concept of the deep state. Patel's framing of a deep state within the government resonates with a substantial segment of the Republican base. This narrative suggests a conspiracy of unelected officials undermining the elected leader's agenda, which Patel has repeatedly claimed to fight against. The significance here lies in how this rhetoric can influence the operational ethos of the FBI, shifting it from a nonpartisan law enforcement agency to one that aligns more closely with partisan interests, thereby undermining public trust in the agency. 3. Patel's professional background. While Patel has a history as a public defender and federal prosecutor, his critics argue that he lacks the necessary experience to lead the FBI effectively. This criticism is not merely about qualifications but also pertains to his temperament and judgment. His previous comments about the FBI being the Federal Bureau of Insanity indicate a lack of respect for the institution he is expected to lead. This attitude could hinder his ability to gain the respect and cooperation of seasoned FBI professionals who operate in a highly complex legal and investigative landscape. 4. Political weaponization of the FBI. One of the core concerns among critics is the potential for Patel to use the FBI as a tool for political retribution. His statements regarding pursuing conspirators against Trump suggest a willingness to turn the FBI into a political weapon. This raises questions about the separation of powers and the integrity of federal law enforcement. The implications are profound if the FBI becomes perceived as an extension of partisan politics. It could lead to a significant erosion of civil liberties and public trust in law enforcement. 5. Impacts on FBI operations and leadership. Patel's nomination signals a potential shift in the FBI's culture and operational priorities. His vision for annihilating the deep state could lead to significant changes in leadership and personnel within the agency. If Patel seeks to install loyalists who share his views, this could create an environment where dissent is stifled and independent investigations are jeopardized. Such a shift could have long-term implications for how the FBI conducts investigations, particularly those involving political figures. 6. Confirmation hearings as a reflection of political divides. The upcoming Senate confirmation hearings are not merely a procedural formality but a reflection of the deep political divides in the current U.S. political landscape. The intensity of the questioning from both sides will reveal not only Patel's fitness for the role but also the broader ideological battle over the direction of federal law enforcement. These hearings will be a litmus test for the Senate's commitment to maintaining the FBI's nonpartisan integrity amidst increasing partisan pressures.
7. Media and public perception. The media's portrayal of Patel as a Trump loyalist may influence public perception of the FBI's legitimacy if he is confirmed.
If Patel is seen as an extension of Trump's political apparatus rather than an independent law enforcement leader, it could further polarize the public's view of the FBI. The implications of this perception could lead to diminished cooperation between the FBI and communities it serves, ultimately affecting crime rates and national security. 8. The role of conservative media. Patel's alignment with conservative media outlets and the way he has leveraged these platforms to amplify his narrative cannot be overlooked. His presence on these platforms positions him as a key figure in the ongoing culture war, which has implications for how law enforcement is viewed in the context of partisan politics.
This could serve to further entrench divisions in public opinion about the FBI and its role in society.
In summary, while many discussions surrounding Kash Patel's nomination focus on his qualifications and past statements, the deeper implications of his views on the FBI's role, his enemies list, and the potential for the agency's politicization are critical elements that could shape the future of American law enforcement. These factors warrant close attention as they may influence the integrity and operational effectiveness of the FBI in the years to come.
1. Patel's controversial background in rhetoric. Kash Patel's history of controversial statements and actions is a focal point in the discussion surrounding his nomination as FBI director.
His derogatory references to the FBI, such as calling it the Federal Bureau of Insanity, and his commitment to dismantling what he terms the deep state, raise significant concerns among critics. His embrace of conspiracy theories, particularly those related to QAnon, coupled with his pledge to pursue investigations against perceived political adversaries, suggests a potential for weaponizing the FBI for partisan ends. This aspect necessitates a thorough examination of the implications of such rhetoric on the integrity of the FBI and the potential erosion of its nonpartisan role in law enforcement.
2. Qualifications and experience.
Patel's qualifications for leading the FBI are under scrutiny, particularly due to his relatively limited experience in law enforcement compared to previous FBI directors. While he has served in various roles, including as a public defender, federal prosecutor, and in key positions within the Trump administration, critics argue that his past actions and lack of substantial leadership experience in a complex federal agency like the FBI make him an unsuitable candidate. The debate about his qualifications highlights the broader question of what traits and experiences are necessary for such a pivotal role in American governance and law enforcement.
3. Political implications of the nomination. The nomination of Patel has significant political ramifications, particularly in the current highly polarized climate in American politics. His alignment with Trump and his past criticisms of the FBI could further deepen the divide between political parties. Supporters argue that Patel represents a much-needed change in the FBI, viewing him as a champion for accountability and reform. Meanwhile, opponents fear that his confirmation could signal a shift towards greater politicization of the FBI, leading to a loss of public trust in the agency. The examination of these political dynamics is crucial for understanding the potential impacts on the FBI's future operations and its relationship with Congress and the executive branch. 4. The enemies list and its implications. Patel's memoir, which includes an enemies list of prominent Democrats and former officials, raises serious ethical questions regarding his approach to leadership and governance. The list reflects a mindset that could foster a culture of retribution within the FBI, potentially undermining the agency's mission to uphold justice impartially. The implications of this list extend beyond Patel's personal views. They suggest a potential shift in the operational ethos of the FBI under his leadership.
Analyzing the ramifications of such a mentality on the agency's integrity and public perception is essential in discussing Patel's nomination.
1. James Comey and the FBI's controversial leadership. James Comey, the former FBI director,
became a polarizing figure during the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails and the Russian interference in the 2016 election. His decision to publicly announce the reopening of the investigation days before the election drew significant criticism and is often cited as a factor that may have influenced the election's outcome.
Comey's firing by President Trump in May 2017 further intensified the controversy surrounding the FBI's role in politics and raised questions about the independence of the Bureau.
2. Robert Mueller and the Special Counsel investigation. Appointed as Special Counsel in May 2017, Robert Mueller led an extensive investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election and potential connections between the Trump campaign and Russia. His investigation faced significant political opposition and scrutiny, particularly from Trump and his allies, who labeled it a witch hunt. The release of Mueller's report in 2019, which presented evidence of Russian interference but did not establish a criminal conspiracy between the Trump campaign and Russia, sparked further debates about accountability and the role of the FBI in political matters. 3. The Watergate scandal and the resignation of Richard Nixon. The Watergate scandal, which involved a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and subsequent cover-up efforts by the Nixon administration, led to a significant crisis within the FBI and the federal government. The investigation, which was initially handled by the FBI, revealed extensive abuses of power and ultimately resulted in President Nixon's resignation in 1974. The scandal raised profound questions about governmental integrity and the role of law enforcement agencies in political oversight.
Echoing contemporary concerns about political influence over the FBI, Kash Patel's nomination as FBI director by former President Donald Trump has ushered in a wave of speculation about the future of the FBI and its role in American politics. Given Patel's controversial history and strong allegiance to Trump, predictions about the agency's trajectory under his leadership are contentious and multifaceted. Political atmosphere and confirmation hearing. As Patel prepares for his Senate confirmation hearing on January 30, 2025, the political landscape is polarized. Democrats are expected to scrutinize his qualifications, particularly his previous derogatory remarks about the FBI, his perceived lack of experience, and his outspoken support for conspiracy theories associated with Trump's administration. Meanwhile, Republican supporters hail him as a necessary reformer aimed at dismantling what they term the deep state. If Patel is confirmed, the immediate aftermath will likely see intensified partisanship. The FBI could become a battleground for political agendas, particularly if Patel seeks to reshape the agency's focus to align more closely with Trump's interests. The implications of this could lead to a significant shift in how the FBI operates, particularly concerning investigations into political figures. Potential changes in FBI operations.
1. Targeting of political opponents. If Patel implements his vision of an FBI that actively pursues what he has termed deep state actors, we may witness a shift towards more aggressive investigations into Trump's political adversaries.
This could lead to concerns over the FBI being used as a political tool, undermining its independence and credibility. 2. Reassessing FBI authority. Patel has suggested limiting the FBI's powers, which could lead to significant structural changes within the agency.
This reevaluation of authority might be welcomed by some Republicans who feel the agency has overstepped its bounds, but could also result in decreased effectiveness in tackling crime and corruption.
3. Focus on whistleblowers. Patel's past actions, including his support for alleged whistleblowers within the FBI, could lead to increased attention on insider allegations. This might result in a culture of fear or loyalty among FBI agents, complicating internal dynamics and potentially stifling dissenting opinions within the agency. Long-term implications for the FBI. 1. Public trust and perception. The FBI's public perception could be significantly impacted.
If Patel's leadership is viewed as politicizing the agency, public trust may erode, leading to a lack of cooperation from local law enforcement and communities.
Complicating crime-fighting efforts.
2. Legal and ethical challenges. Patel's approach to leadership may invite legal scrutiny.
If partisan investigations lead to perceived injustices, legal challenges could arise, further entrenching the FBI in litigation and public relations crises. 3. Future of investigations. The FBI's ability to conduct impartial investigations could be compromised. If Patel prioritizes cases involving political figures aligned with or opposed to Trump based on loyalty, this could shift the focus away from pressing national security matters, leading to potential vulnerabilities. Broader political ramifications. Patel's confirmation could also signal a broader trend within the Republican Party where loyalty to Trump supersedes traditional qualifications and independent oversight. This shift could embolden further partisan appointments across various government agencies, eroding the checks and balances that are fundamental to American governance. Conclusion. Looking ahead. The confirmation of Kash Patel as FBI director could lead to a profound transformation of the agency, influenced heavily by political loyalties and rivalries. The future of the FBI may become a reflection of the broader conflict within American politics, oscillating between the demands for accountability and the risks of politicization. The outcomes of Patel's leadership will likely shape not only the FBI's operational ethos but also the integrity of American democratic institutions in the years to come. As the nation watches the confirmation hearings unfold, the implications of Patel's potential leadership will resonate through the corridors of power, affecting law enforcement, political accountability, and public trust in government.